Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be picking my TBR for the month of September. I am currently finishing up my 31 books in 31 days challenge. I'm on book 30. We're getting close. It is the 27th, so I have like another 5 days or so to finish up 2 books, which I think is possible. And I'm just like back in my groove with reading. And September is a month where I pick series because it is the third month. Every 3 months I pick books that I have that are part of a series that I've already started. So I'm going to try to challenge myself again this month to read as many physical books as I have the next one in a series that I've already started. I'm not going to try to start any new series this month. So these are all of the books that I physically own that are going to be, that are the next book in a series, or the final book in a series, whatever that may be. Everything up here finishes a series, and then this bottom shelf here just continues. So I did separate them that way, but this is what I'm going to be choosing my books from. I do have some Kindle options too if I need to pull, and I have 2 books coming this month, The Gingerbread Bakery and Wild Card, that are both part of a series. One's a continue, one's a finish, and if I need to pull one of those 2 for my 12-book TBR, I will as well. This is my focus for the next month. I really want to just try to get through as many of these as possible, but I'm going to be picking my 12 priority reads today. So, I just pulled up like a TBR prompt wheel on the internet. We're just going to spin this 12 times, and hopefully I get a prompt that works for one of these books. If not, I'll just keep spinning till I do, because I do only want to choose from here and then the Kindle books that I have options for, because September is a series month. So, without me yapping anymore, let me know in the comments below what is on your radar for the month of September. What books do you plan on trying to read? What are you trying to do by the end of the year? We're getting towards the end of the year. Like, what books are you planning on reading? I'm going to try to do a 10 before the end, but I probably won't release that until like October. Once I get through this month, we'll see where I am, because that could influence it. So now I'm going to stop yapping, and we're going to pick our first book. What's our prompt? A retelling. I don't know that any of these are retellings. Yeah, I don't think so. So we're going to have to spin again. I could be missing one, but to my knowledge, none of them are retellings. A revenge story. I think I'm going to go with this one. I believe Curse Carved in Bone could be considered a revenge story, because there was something that happened at the end of the first book that's going to lead into the story for this. So I believe she's being driven by some revenge. Yeah, we're going to go with that, because I know that there is animosity between her and like 2 main characters and 2 male characters in this. So I believe we're going to go with this one for revenge story. So this is the second book in the Saga of the Unfated by Danielle L. Jensen. This is just a duology, so this will finish out that duology for me. And the first one was A Fate Inked in Blood, and I really did enjoy that. I've had this for a few months, and I do just want to like close out this duology so that I can start the Bridge Kingdom, because I do want to read that. Okay, spin number 2. A sad book. I have a feeling I know a book that's going to be sad, and I really do. I have 2 options actually, but I feel like this book's going to be really sad, and I also feel like Morning Star could be really sad, but I really want to finish out the Mistborn series. Based on some knowledge I have of the entire Cosmere, I do believe this is going to be a sad ending. I don't trust him to give me happy endings. It's the end of a very like action-packed high fantasy trilogy, so I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of sad moments in this. So for a sad book, we're going to go with The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, which is the 3rd book in the original Mistborn trilogy. This hasn't been too bad so far. We'll do our next spin. Those 2 were 2 books I really wanted to get, so I'm happy I did end up getting those. Published before 2015. I don't know about this one. Leasehold. 2016, so that one was close. This is brand new. That's brand new. That's 23. That's more recent than I thought. None of the ones on the bottom shelf are going to be. That one's 2. Morning Star should be, right? If not, I don't know what we're going to do, because I don't think any of these other ones are going to be. 2016. Are you kidding me? I had two 2016s. None of these on the bottom shelf are. They're all new releases. Was Anna Huang's first series. Is it that old? Probably not. Nope. Alright, we're gonna have to respin that one. None of these are that old. Before 2017 would have been good. Treat yourself. I'm not gonna buy a book, but we'll put Wildcard on there. Because technically I'm treating myself because it is pre-ordered. We're gonna go with that one. So that is the fourth and final book in Elsie Silver's Rose Hill series. I can't remember the names of the characters, but this is a huge age gap because I believe this is the male main character's son's ex-girlfriend. So it's the dad and the ex-girlfriend of the son, I believe, is the love interest, which I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about this one. This one's a little out of my comfort zone, but Elsie hasn't steered me wrong yet, so fingers crossed this one's a good ending to the series. But yeah, we're going to add a Wildcard as our third book. It's also on Kindle, which is great. So book number 4, spin, I'm not even sure anymore. Random number. Okay. I'm only doing the ones that are physically on here. 1 through 27. Generate number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love arranged. This also finishes out a series. This is the third and final book in the Lakefront Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. This, I believe, is a marriage of convenience. Not arranged marriage, but they both are marrying each other for certain reasons. And we have Lorenzo and Lily. And I think it's a little bit like reluctancy, like fake relationship kind of thing. I want to say there's a marriage of convenience, but I do know it is a fake. It's a fake relationship. I don't know if it goes all the way to marriage, but excited for this. Excited to finish out the series. I have really enjoyed this one. I know that not everybody has, but the first book in this was like a 5-star read for me. Second one was okay. It was a little bit too long, I think, and drug out, but I still enjoyed the story. I still enjoyed the characters, but this one I've been waiting for. Like, I've been waiting for Lorenzo to be the main male character the entire series. So that's the second purple book too, because Wildcard is also purple. So we have 2 romances and 2 fantasies. Let's see what our next one is. Goodreads Choice Award. I don't think that any of these did. None of these have been up for it yet down here because they're all brand new. And I don't believe any of these were. So we're going to spin again. I just randomly picked this spinner, so obviously I can't control what's on it, but beautiful cover. I already know which one I think is the most beautiful cover on here. There's 2. I'd say like one of these 2 is probably the most beautiful cover. I just love purple, and they both have like elements of purple in them. The rest of the covers are kind of just boring to me. If I had to say beautiful, maybe even Enchantra. I really like that too. I'm clearly picking purple books for some reason this month. Part of me wants to pick Wisteria because that finishes out this series. But I really want to read Enchantra. I think I'm going to go with Enchantra because I'll probably read this anyway. So I think I'm going to go with Enchantra for this. This is the second book in the Wicked Games series, I want to say it's called. Phantasma is the first one. I read that, loved it. Cannot wait to see if I continue to love the series. But this follows, I believe, the sister of the female main character in the first book. And then I believe a character that may have been... I don't know if we met the male main character in the first book, but definitely met the female one. And I'm excited to see how that goes. They are very much, I think, Caraval-esque, but they're just like adult versions of that. And I loved Caraval, so not going to complain about that. But the first one was a fun time, so. And it's like spooky season starting, so I think like a witchy romance will be fun. A red cover. Ooh, none of these are really red. I mean, this has red on it. We're going to count that as red. The Gingerbread Bake Shop's not. That's orange. This looked red online, but it's definitely like orange in person. Unfortunately. Okay, I think this is the closest we're gonna get to red. So Bloody Heart by Sophie Lark, third book in the Brutal Birthright series. And this follows Simone and Dante. So we're finally gonna get Dante's story. I didn't love the last one. I will say it was not my favorite, but I've enjoyed the series. Like, it's a quick read. They're on Kindle Unlimited, so I can just pop it on my Kindle at the gym and read on a treadmill. And honestly, like, I can get through these in a few hours. So next one is Bloody Heart. I'm not sure. I think this might be a second chance. Kind of. Like, he kidnaps her at one point, I think, and then, like, they're attracted to each other, but they can't risk everything for each other, so nothing happens, and then I think they just finally give in. Semi-dark romance, so we'll see how that comes out. So this, we're just hit the halfway mark, so this is book 7. We're spinning for book 7. Animal on the cover. No. No. That's got a feather, so I'm gonna go with no. No. Oh boy. No. That doesn't. Okay, does a dragon count as an animal? It's not human. Oh, I know it's going to. There he is. There he is, and Kingsley. Yep, we're gonna go with Accomplice to the Villain. My sister was just asking me today when I'm gonna read this, so yeah, this is the third book in the Apprentice to the Villain series by Hannah Nicole Mara. I've loved the first two. They're just such a fun, whimsical, good time, and they're like low-stakes fantasy romance. It's adorable, so this will be a fun, there's also a little crocodile too, so 2 animals. This will be a fun weekend read or something, but I'm excited to see where she goes with this because the romance is kicked up in every book, so I'm hoping that we actually start to see some sizzle in this one, but we'll see. We'll see. Book 8. Most anticipated. On here, honestly, and this is kind of going against everything I'm trying to do, but it's one of these two, I think, is the two that I'm looking forward to the most off of this cart right now. Oh, there was an animal on here too, technically. I really want to read this. She was also asking me when I was going to read this. And I really want to read this. I really need to read this because I've had it for months. But I don't know when the next book's coming out. And she just announced that this book, the third one and the final one, is coming out March 31st, I want to say. So, is that a sign? I think that's a sign. This is the second book in the Into Darkness trilogy. I'm not going to say who it follows because you have to read the first book. But I think this is a stalker romance. And the main character is in the first book, and I loved him. And I can't wait to see him as, like, that MC. So, he's a motorcycle rider, too, which, yeah, that just does something, you know? So, Caught Up by Nevessa Allen is going to be the 8th book on our TBR. Spinning for book 9. Book about travel. I don't think any of these are really about travel. That's not. I know those two aren't. I think they travel. They're based on how this one ended. They're taking a journey through the heart of the empire. I can stretch that. I can stretch that. They're traveling through the lands to get somewhere. That might be the only one that I can probably stretch this on. A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This is the second book in the Ember in the Ashes quartet, and I really want to get through this in the next few months because I want to read Air before the next one and that comes out. And I want to read this before I forget what happened in the first book that I read a few months ago. So, basically we're following our female main lead, who is Laia, I believe is how you say her name. And Elias is our male main character, and I think, yeah, wow, pulled that out of nowhere. And Laia's trying to infiltrate the Empire to help save her brother, and Elias is a, like, super soldier at the Academy, but he's also, like, reluctantly there because he doesn't agree with the Empire. And that's basically the first book. Now we're just continuing their story based on what happened at the end of the first one. So can't talk too much about that more than what I just said, but I am looking forward to seeing where the rest of this goes, because I know this is such a beloved quartet, and I just need to finish it out. I have all of the books. I need to just read them. 8, 9, so book 10. Prompt are we gonna get? Are we gonna focus, ma'am? Lowest rated. Well, I can tell you right now, they are not all in my Goodreads, but we'll go off of what is. I'm just gonna go to my Goodreads on my physical TBR. I don't think I've added all of these in. We'll go by rating. We're at the highest, so it's not releasing 10, because that's the highest rated. We're gonna flip it, and we're looking at the top. I'm just gonna scroll till I find one. Promises We Meant to Keep. 3.5 average rating by Monica Murphy. Third book in the Lancaster Prep series. This follows Sylvie and Spencer, I believe. It says, return to Lancaster Prep with a woman who seeks redemption with the guy who got away. So I guess a second chance. Second chance romance. I know the rest of the series isn't rated very highly, but again, they're on Kindle Unlimited. They're quick reads. This is actually a very short read. It's only, those are the exclusive chapters. If you don't count, like, the exclusive chapters, it's like 350 pages, so not too bad. They are slightly bully romances, so do keep that in mind. They're not, like, the lightest, happiest. So I'm gonna pick 2 more. And again, I'm gonna try to read as many on this card as I can next month, but these are just gonna be the priorities. A mood read. Do I want to do that? Do I want to emotionally damage myself? I think I do. If I had to pick one that I want to mood read at this moment in time, it's the final book in the Zodiac Academy. I have Restless Stars to finish. It's the 9th and final book, and I don't know, I've got, like, the urge lately to just read it. So I think I'm going to add that as my 11th book on this TBR. I do have it pre-ordered, so it technically is owned physically. It just doesn't come out till December, but I included it on here because I can read it for free, and I already bought the book. So that is the one that I'm probably looking forward to reading the most. That is probably the one that I would say that, like, if I had to pick off of what's remaining, it would be my mood read at this moment in time. So we're going to go with that, and we're going to spin for our final book. Book box book. None of these were book. Try again. I need to do that. Maybe we'll do that next month. I have a lot of book box books. Nope. We already did a treat yourself. We're not doing another one. Give me something different. Enemies to lovers. I can't consider that enemies to lovers. What are you? I don't know that I want to consider this enemies to lovers. You know what kind of is? I hate saying a romance novel is enemies to lovers because they're like rivals to lovers. But this could be considered that because it is, they don't like each other, they don't get along, he torments her. This could be considered enemies to lovers. But the one I'm leaning towards the most, which I didn't even talk about because it's a Kindle read, is Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer. I've been wanting to read this for a few months, and I've just forgot to. And it is a marriage of convenience, but it is kind of like they hate each other, so that could be considered it. A part of me wants to go with this because it is like an enemies to lovers trope over the trilogy. So I think we're going to go with this book. And I want to read this next month so that when I go to the beach, I can get the final book and buy that down there and read it. So yeah, I think we're going to go with Kate Golden's A Promise of Peridot. Second book in the Sacred Stones duology. The first book was a Dawn of Onyx, and I really did enjoy that. So we'll see where the story continues to. And that puts us pretty even, I think, on fantasy and regular romance. Give me a second and we'll go over them again. Yeah, I think we are pretty even. So first we have Restless Stars, which is the final book in the Zodiac Academy by Carolyn Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. This will finish a series for me. We have A Curse Carved in Bone by Danielle L. Jensen. Also will finish a series. The Hero of Ages by Brandon Sanderson, final book in the Mistborn original trilogy, will finish a series. Accomplice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Maurer. This will catch me up based on what is released right now. A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This will move me along. A Promise of Peridot by Kate Golden. This will get me caught up based on what I own. And then I'll only have one book left for that. So those were 6 fantasy, and now we're going to have 6 romance. So it actually did work out pretty well. Caught Up by Nevessa Allen will catch me up with what's out. Bloody Heart by Sophie Lark. Promises We Meant to Keep by Monica Murphy. Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. This will complete a series. Enchanter by Kaylee Smith. This will catch me up in a series. And then finally Treat Yourself, which was Wildcard by Elsie Silver, is pre-ordered, and that will finish a series. So that is it. That is my TBR for the month of September. I'm very excited for it. It's a perfect split of fantasy and romance, which is great. That keeps me more interested in reading. And I still have all of these that I can choose from if I do end up getting through these books first. So again, let me know what you plan on reading in the month of September. Let me know which of these you're most excited for me to catch up on, finish, whatever. Ask me why the heck I'm even continuing it because you didn't like the series. I love to know all of the thoughts. So thank you so much for watching if you made it this far, and I hope to see you all in the next video.